since 2008.
Question number 8, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of State-Owned Enterprises and asks, is it his understanding that the Prime Minister is still committed to his policy of partial asset sales of Mighty River Power, Genesis Power, Meridian Energy, Solid Energy and Air New Zealand?
Yes, the Government remains committed to its policy of minority share offers in the mentioned enterprises, but as indicated from the outset, this is subject to market conditions. While the member may have various reasons why this policy should not proceed, I would want to emphasise that this policy is important for a number of reasons, the most important being controlling our debt and protecting New Zealand from the worsening European and international debt crisis that fills our television news screens every night.
To the Minister, does he agree with the Prime Minister, who on Radio Live yesterday said he abandoned the increase in class sizes because, quote, it's pretty obvious that we weren't winning that public debate, unquote? If so, will he follow that same criteria and abandon state asset sales, given that more than 80% of New Zealanders are opposed to those sales?
Yes and no.
To the Minister, given that his colleague, the Minister of Education, stated on Campbell Live this past Thursday that the increase in class sizes was abandoned because, and I quote, this was a trade-off people were not prepared to make, unquote, will he reconsider the policy of partial asset sales in Mighty River Power, Genesis Energy, Meridian Energy, Solid Energy and Air New Zealand?
No, it's imperative that New Zealand take action to control its debt. The Government has a plan to ensure that, and part of that is to sell minority shares in these state-owned enterprises. If we do not control our debt, then New Zealand's future is not as successful as it could be.
Mr Speaker. To the Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, what reports has he received on the previous government in 2007 adopting the mixed ownership model for state-owned energy companies and selling 49% of the shares in Spring Creek Mine Limited for tens of millions of dollars, all to a foreign-owned multinational company called Kagel Coal, a policy that was described by the then Labor government as innovative, commercially sound.
Mr Speaker, I found that question most interesting because I have heard from the people opposite that they wouldn't want to do anything like that, but it seems that when they're in government, it's a completely different story.
To the Minister. Too much starch in the Wi-Fi, possibly, Minister. To the Minister, does he consider it acceptable that, as noted on the public record, his officials from Treasury wrote the departmental report on submissions on the mixed ownership model bill prior to submissions being fully heard?
Mr Speaker, I am aware that after the departmental report was received, the committee heard, I think, 10 oral submissions, 9 of which were based on written submissions that were considered for the departmental report. I think the Select Committee has done a very fine consideration of the bill, and I thank all members for the very studious way that they've dealt with this bill.
To the Minister, was the Finance and Expenditure Committee acting on his instructions while considering the mixed ownership model bill, in particular, when government members gave inadequate time for consideration and deliberation, when National MPs were disrespectful to submitters, including one of whom who demanded to know the voting intention of a submitter?
Mr Speaker, far be it for me to instruct the members of the Finance and Expenditure Committee, some of whom are in the Labor Party and the Green Party and all sorts of other parties.
Question number 9, Senator O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Tertiary Education, Skills and Employment and asks, how much